products today, some subtle and some actually not so subtle. We're going to talk all about something new from Guerlain and two relatively new things from Dior, or DIORSHOW to be precise, with me, Rebecca. I am a fashion and beauty editor who has spent more than 25 years, I really ought to change that, in the trenches with some of the biggest names in fashion and beauty, and I have brought not fit for print beauty right here to YouTube so that you have a sort of digital beauty magazine to look through every day or so. All right, we are going to get started. I am still piling through all of these new releases, and I want to say that they're slowing down a little bit, but I still have such a backlog, and every time I say things are slowing down, they ramp back up again, so really I ought to take back all of those words. Let me tell you what we're going to be looking at today, though. I try to only do about 2 products per video, so it's not overwhelming. This one has 3, but they kind of work together. We are going to start by looking today at the new Guerlain Sun-Kissed Healthy Glow Powder in the shade Flower Blossom. We're going to talk all about it when we jump into the demo, so I won't do that now. I'll save that. But we are going to take a look at the 3 shades in it in the warm California sunshine, so that's coming up. And then we have 2 new Dior or DIORSHOW products, actually. We're going to look at the Cannage motif DIORSHOW 5 colors. I bought mine in the 647 Silk Taupe, but it does come in 4 different color combinations, and it is $71 with this beautiful packaging, which we will also talk more about during the demo. And that goes along with the same beautiful packaging in the, those are our 2 subtle products. The Dior Cannage and the Guerlain are very subtle. I'm wearing them now, you might not even know. Very subtle. But something not so subtle is our next Dior product, which is the $33 DIORSHOW Overvolume mascara. This is a 24-hour extreme volume and definition mascara, 440% more volume. We'll talk about how that could be achieved when we get into the demo. But let's go right now. Let's take these outside into the warm California sunshine. It is indeed very warm out. The first thing we have on my arm there are 3 shades from the Guerlain Flower Blossom. I've actually poked in to all the shades there so you get all 3. That's what they look like. It's hard not to get the pink and coral mixed up with the bronze, but that is them right there. And then next to it is the Cannage motif DIORSHOW 5 colors in 647 Silk Taupe. There are 4 shades to choose from, or 4 different shades combos to choose from, but since it was relatively new but had been covered to death by so many others, I just went ahead and grabbed one so we could just kind of check the formula. They're all kind of harmonies on a nude, theme and nude ranges. So I just picked one that looked pretty to me, and I thought we would look at it and look at the packaging, which we are going to do in the demo. Speaking of the demo, let's go to that right now. Hey, check me out on all the socials, and I do mean all of them, including the fact that right here on YouTube, we have a $4.99 a month membership that you can join. That's a lot of fun. We have weekly lives, and we'd love to see you there. All right, make sure you're subscribed, and let's get right over to the demo. Okay, let's go ahead and start off our demo here with the Guerlain product. This, as I mentioned, is the Flower Blossom Sun-Kissed Healthy Glow Powder. This is $60. It is their iconic terracotta bronzer in a new limited edition for summer kind of packaging and look. It's refillable, has a kind of, they call it a blush of color. It's the terracotta product in here is light number 3, and then it's got some splashes of pink and coral. And there's a few different ways to use this. You can just swirl it all together, which is what I think we'll pretty much do for the bronzer element, but you can bring this onto the cheeks, which you could do with any bronzer really, I suppose. But with this in particular, it could be kind of a bronzy blush 2 ways. Again, either swirling, or they say picking and choosing these pink and coral colors that are there. I brought over a smaller brush. There's no real way to do it and just get the pink or the coral. I mean, maybe if you use a very small eyeshadow brush, but that's not really going to be effective on the cheeks. So let's just play around with it and see what we can do. I'm going to start with a larger Sonia G bronzer brush, and I will just swirl. I'm going to concentrate mostly on the inside, which is the bronzer. Now I do have to let you know that I'm just going to do one side of the face first. I do need to let you know that there is a bit of a floral scent when you first open this and first apply the product. This is dipping again. This is something that's fairly common with these French perfume houses, and I forgive them for it. It's not like Guerlain doesn't know how to do perfume. When Too Faced does it and some of these other brands, I'm like, I'm side-eyeing them, but I'm not about to tell Guerlain their business, which really is perfume. Okay, so there is one side of the face. This is a very light product. You're going to have to, I'll do the other side now, but right now we have this side done and this side nothing. I just have a little color corrector on and some lip gloss, by the way. And all the details, while I do the other side here, I'll let you know that all the details and everything that I am wearing on my face today will be down below in the description bar and where I can up here in YouTube shopping so that you can click and peruse while not even leaving the video. Why would you want to leave the video, right? Okay, now all I did was a little bit of light bronzing, which I kind of like because it's very haphazard, but this is the number 3 bronzer, and many of you are going to say, Rebecca, you have a light medium skin, I'm not really seeing it that well. Yes, it's going to be very subjective, but this could be really pretty in the transition on the eyes as well. And these little Guerlain packaging with the little holographic G and all of that, the holographic Guerlain G, they're very pleasant and nice to use. We're not going to put this on the eyes today because we have the Dior, but you know. I brought over some of these Sonia G brushes that have this little painterly tip on them, and I'm going to try to just I'm going to try to just like on this cheek, let's just go into the pinker shade, but it's going to mix with the bronzer a little bit. Like I said, unless you used an eyeshadow brush. But Guerlain, the brand, does tell you that you can go ahead and dip into the individual colors for the cheek shades, and why not? And you saw those individual colors out in the swatches. Okay, now I'm going to switch brushes just so as not to contaminate. And now we're going to head up here to this, also a Sonia G brush, to this kind of more coral shade mixed with the number 3 terracotta bronzer. I am surprised how light the number 3 is. I wonder what terracotta bronzer, I gotta go look and see what I own from them. But the number 3 is definitely light to light medium. Okay, so we have a little bit on the cheeks, not overdone as I would normally do it. Here's the bronze pinkish side and the bronze coral-ish side. It's very pretty. And another thing you could do is just take a big old brush like this, and you can almost do the whole face, really. That will, if you swirl on the whole thing, it will give you some sunlight, some warmth, and a little bit of blush. And in a way, I'm sure Guerlain would tell us that that's a way that's probably intended for use. It's supposed to be just like, as they say, sun-kissed, healthy glow. It's not supposed to be overwhelming or deep and dark. It's supposed to just kind of give your whole face a little touch of sun and color. You can go ahead and pick and choose which colors if you have the right brushes. But really, to be honest with you, what I would do is just kind of go all over the face haphazardly and just warm the face up a little bit. I know it's not dark, but that is kind of the point. Okay, let's switch now. Speaking of France and French houses, and French perfume houses as well, let's go over to Dior. We have 2 DIORSHOW products today. This is the 5 colors in these 4 shades. These are the Cannage motif, and you've seen these probably all over. There's 4 different shade choices for $71. I went ahead and got the 647 Silk Taupe in the Cannage motif. Cannage meaning canage or working with cane, and that is a nod to the Lady Dior bag, which kind of looks a little bit like this, if you've seen the Lady Dior bag. All 4 of these color stories are in the nude ranges, including the one I got here, which again is Silk Taupe 647. This has matte satin and a pearly shade, as they all do. Plus there's a nude Harmonies shade there as well. Just kind of ties them all together. I thought this was one of the prettiest, but there are 4, and they are limited edition and in this pretty Cannage motif casing. Interestingly enough, the mascara is also in that Cannage motif. So they're a cute little pair. This is also DIORSHOW, and this is the Overvolume mascara. It is $33, and again, we have that Cannage motif casing. It's supposed to last for 24 hours. Don't know that I can test it that long, but I'm gone are the days where I teased and made fun of wearing something for 24 hours once my healthcare workers started coming in the comments and going, Rebecca, I kind of need that. And I went, oh, I guess you do, yeah. So, you know, this could be really good if you're on one of those extended shifts, extreme volume and definition. And you know I've got to laugh at the fact that they say that their studies prove there is a 440% increase and boost in volume. I love that. Not 439% Dior? No. 441% Dior? 440%. Okay. But they've got some innovative bristles on it, which we'll look at in a moment. But first, let's stick to our little Cannage motif DIORSHOW 5 colors in Silk Taupe. And I have brought over some Rephr brushes. Let's start with a Rephr 15 Max. And I'm just going to take this shade right here and put it all over the eyes. This is, I think, a really pretty color story. I am very hit and miss with the 5 colors Dior. Sometimes I just don't like it. You guys know I love the Dior Backstage, which I know is like the low rent Dior, as if there is such a thing. But I tend to like those. I don't know. The casing is just basic and I like it. Does this one have a scent? No, it isn't. Which a lot of you will like, because who wants to put fragrance on the eyes? Which you would be doing if you used the Guerlain Flower Blossom on the eyes, but use at your own risk. All right, let's go into this middle shade here. I am not switching brushes, and I am just going to go into the crease. I didn't even tap the brush off. These are really gentle, and these gentle eye shades, don't be afraid of them. It is just to match the kind of the trend right now of not a really heavily made up eye look. That's just a trend. It doesn't mean you have to follow it. There are no rules. It's makeup. Okay, that's really pretty. And I'm going to dip into this deepest shade. Now, this one is a much more powerful shade, as you probably saw with the swatches. So I'm just going to very gently, with this fairly fluffy brush, just add it in to define the corners. And I think I kind of want to do a little bit underneath the eye too. Here's a Rephr number 3 brush. So I'm going to take that darker shade, and I'm just going to go under. This leaves the, nicely leaves the middle part of the eye and the inner corner for 2 kind of shimmery shades right here. So I am going to take a number 1 Max shade by Rephr. Have you guys voted right now? I had the link. I'll provide it down below. But you can vote right now. Rephr is going to retire some brushes and keep some, and you can actually vote to have your voice heard with Rephr. So I'll leave that down below because I think that's kind of fun. I love that. They're so good with their community. I love Rephr. All right, so here's a 01 Max, and I am going to put that onto the eye. We're going to add our mascara in a moment. This is such a subtle look, and I like it. You can use your finger on this, and you might even get more color payoff. Would you like me to try that just to see? Sometimes the emolliency of the finger is really nice. Yeah, I like that. Just kind of melts in better with the emolliency and the warmth of the finger. And then I've got another Rephr number 3, a clean one. I didn't realize I had 2 of them, but I do. And I'm going to go in here and just kind of put that into the inner corner of the eye. It's really pretty. This is a very subtle one. All of these color stories in this little Cannage Dior $71 limited edition, they're all kind of variations on a central nude theme. And I like that. I think that's just really wearable for every day and very pretty. And I think worth it. Some of you will say no because it is extraordinarily subtle, but I like that subtlety. Okay, let's talk about our mascara now. I've already curled my lashes off camera. And I could probably use another curl, but let's really see what this baby can do. As usual, I just want you to know I recommend, in terms of lash curlers, if you've had lash curlers that pinch or crimp or something uncomfortable, my 3 favorites are the new BK Beauty, the Rephr, just talked about Rephr, comes in 3 sizes, and Surratt. I will use those 3 interchangeably. Okay, so this is $33, and it's going to give me 440% volume boost. supposedly. Let's take a look at these innovative bristles. Oh, definitely. So that's interesting. I noticed, I haven't tried this yet. I noticed that the little wand is fairly flexible, and it does have some interesting bristles. So let's take a look, and let's see how long it lasts, okay? I am horrible. I have horrible performance anxiety when putting on mascara on camera. No, I don't know why that is. I think mascara is one of the only things I'm kind of wiggling and turning this brush and playing with it a little bit here. It is an interesting brush. It's really flexible, like it's moving on the lashes too. That's interesting. Mascara is the only thing, as I was saying, I really tend to take time with when I'm putting on my makeup. I just think eyelashes are so important. And I think on camera I get a little bit like rushed. I know you guys aren't rushing me, but wow, well, let me tell you, there's definitely, this is definitely going to give you more volume. And I actually see that it's separating. I don't see a lot of lift or length. It doesn't really say that it does length though, and bless it for that, because I was just telling you the other day, I've done a lot of mascara reviews lately. I was just telling you guys the other day that the new thing is that every mascara does everything. It lifts, it lengthens, it separates the colors in the laundry cycle. It scrapes the dishes for you before you put them in the dishwasher. It does everything. So it's nice to see that this does say that it has definition, but it doesn't say length. And I would agree, there's not a lot of length, but definite volume. So we have this eye finished and this eye with no mascara at all. Curled lashes, but no mascara. And I definitely feel, this sounds like a negative, but let me tell you while I'm doing the other eye. I only dipped once. I definitely feel the weight of the mascara on this eye. I don't find it distracting or weird, so don't think that. But I can feel that there is a weight to the mascara. So it's definitely adding volume on. And I'm curious about how messy this will be when I take it off. More and more of you, I'm hearing, are only wearing tubing mascaras, which I find interesting. And this is not a tubing mascara. I can't say that I blame you, because tubing mascaras are so easy to get off. And some of these other mascaras involve so much to get off and make such a dark mess on your face and a goopy mess that, it's not worth it. So I'll let you know that when I edit. This is definitely volumizing, not lengthening. I use a lash serum, so I'm not too worried about lengthening, but if you're used to those kind of lengthening, separating tubing mascaras, this will make you feel like you've got a tarantula spider on your eyes instead. It's not messy, but I don't know. I feel like as it kind of gets exposed to air, mascara, let's do the other lashes again. Mascara has that sweet spot at about a week in, where it kind of thickens up just a little bit, and I think it's at its best at that point. I don't know if this will get too thick. And I do miss the length. But let me tell you, this is definitely a volumizing mascara. It is not lengthening. Now, you could be like Tracy. Hi, Tracy, one of our viewers here. Tracy likes to layer mascaras and use different ones. So if I were Tracy right now, and I could only wish that because Tracy's awesome. If I were Tracy, I would have put maybe a lengthening underneath this and then this on top. I mean, they got to gel well together, but that might be something that you would want to do, perhaps. But that's actually quite pretty. I smudged it a bit. It's not a real wet formula either. But wow, look at how subtle that eyeshadow is. I almost forgot I put on eyeshadow. But this mascara is not subtle, and it's very pretty, but lengthening it is not. I didn't find it very wet, which is nice. I like them a little bit drier and pulling. So I find the Prada and the Mario a little bit easier that way. Like I like when it feels a little bit dry and grippy and kind of pulls the lashes out with it. This does not do that. This is definitely just depositing product on the lashes and thickening them. I have done way too many mascara reviews lately. I have so many open mascaras, and I keep telling you guys that's like my thing that I feel guilty about. This is just going to go on top of a ton of other open mascaras, which in 3 months need to be thrown out. It's so frustrating. The one thing I will tell you, though, that I tend to do is I reach for the same ones over and over, and that ends up kind of becoming a de facto questionnaire really about my preferences. And I really am reaching for the product over and over and over again, just to let you know. I just love that. This is, though, if you want extreme volume, this is a good one, minus the length. Okay, in terms of the eyeshadow, though, there are 3 other shade combinations I have not tried. I think this is super pretty, but it's going to be very, very subtle. And speaking of subtle, I think our Guerlain Flower Blossom is also subtle. I like subtle here. I like subtle on eyeshadow too, but wow, we have all 5 shades on. You know, it's so funny. I talk about this Dior Cannage. I was talking about the Victoria Beckham Quint the other day, and I was saying I couldn't possibly wear all the shades. Is it 4 or 5 shades? Why am I forgetting? Anyway, I was saying I couldn't possibly wear all the shades because it's so dark and so intense. You would have to wear 1 or 2. Well, with this one, I am wearing all 5, and it looks like I'm wearing a 1 and done. So serious subtlety, which will appeal to some of you and not to others. Serious subtlety here as well. And again, now that we're finished with the video, I can just kind of show you what it's like to just, this is normally what you do. You finish your makeup and you're just going to kind of, I mean, you can use it like a bronzer, or if you've got light medium, you know, just warm your skin up with it. Just kind of gives it a pretty effect. Whereas you'd have to use it more sparsely as a bronzer if you had light or, you know, fair skin. Once you get to light medium and above, you can just go to town with it. So a very pretty, pretty look. I'm wearing that YSL lip thing that plumps your lips on my lips, and it's making them a little red because it's plumping them. So interesting how that happens. Just a note to the word to the wise. I didn't really intend to go too red on my lips, but it does make them redder. So I don't know if it's a very cohesive look today, but it works. I just wanted to test the products out. So let me know your thoughts. Again, all of this will be down below or up here in YouTube shopping. Let me know what you're thinking and what you like. Make sure to share, like, and of course, please subscribe. And I look forward to seeing all of you in the next video. Bye-bye.